Hey everyone, welcome back to Monteriggioni. Last month we went ahead and finished spraying our big home place field. We did get it done. We've got 400 liters of herbicide left, and that's it. We are $222 in the hole currently, but we do have our trailer loaded up with everything out of our greenhouses. We do not need to replenish the greenhouses this month, but we will have to next month for sure. So we need to buy plenty of seed, fertilizer, and herbicide this month so that we can take care of spraying our spelt field and make sure that we keep seed and fertilizer in our greenhouses to make sure we keep money coming in. We do have a few eggs that we can get sold. We had 3 more chickens give birth last month, so we've had 15 new chickens born on this farm in the last 2 months. So the chicken coop is definitely filling up quick. But we're going to go ahead and run down to the farmer's market, get this sold off, and then we will stop at the garden nursery, pick up all of the supplies we need for this month, and hopefully get our field sprayed, and that's probably going to be about it, honestly, for this month. There's just not a whole lot going on this month. Alright, we'll get backed into the farmer's market here, and get all of this sold off. There we go. Now we got it all sold off. So we're at $9,441. Definitely not going to go very far. I was really hoping to make enough money to purchase our last field map, but I don't think we're going to be able to. And part of the reason we were in the hole this month is I did buy the precision farming map for our small wheat field. And I did get it partially fertilized, but it's taking a lot of fertilizer for that wheat field, so it didn't even make it one round around the field before we ran out, so not great. But we're going to go ahead, pull in here, and pick up as much seed and fertilizer and herbicide as we can, and hope that next month we make a little bit more money off of our greenhouses. Alright, I got one of our herbicide totes staged up here at the edge of the field. That way we don't have to travel quite so far when we need to refill, because we do need to refill quite often here. Now we're down to 581 euros, and that's not great. We got 2 totes of fertilizer, 2 totes of herbicide, and we're broke. Like broke. This ain't good at all. We're going to be way in the hole next month, but, you know, hopefully it's worth it. Hopefully this boosts our yield high enough that, you know, it genuinely works. So we're going to start out this month by going ahead and spraying our spelt field here. And I tell you what, it's really hard to tell the difference, at least in the early stage, of what spelt, barley, and wheat are. They all look the exact same. But you know what? That's okay. We're going to go ahead and get these weeds sprayed off and improve our yield as much as we can for our first harvest coming up here later this next summer. And hope that we can survive till then. It's going to be pretty close. As long as our greenhouses keep up, we should be just fine. Okay, so all of our fields are officially sprayed. And now we're going to go ahead and fertilize our small field. And I can't decide if I want to try and fertilize our spelt field yet or not. Because we're definitely not going to put down enough fertilizer to really be effective without our map. So, you know, I kind of feel like it might be a waste of time. So I think we'll wait. See if maybe next month I can afford to purchase that map and then try and, you know, spread some fertilizer. We'll see what the weather does, but we'll go ahead and finish off this little field, at least get it fully fertilized, and we don't have any weeds anymore, so that's a great thing. So we'll go ahead, finish off this field, and see what next month brings. Alright, so we got this field completely fertilized now, and I think we're going to go ahead and wait on our spelt field until next month. Hopefully I can afford to purchase our soil map. That way we can put down the correct amount of fertilizer. So this will be it for the month of November. There's not really a whole lot going on this month. So I think I might run into town, grab some lunch, talk to the locals, and see if maybe we can talk one or two of them into letting us help them out on their farm so we can make a little extra income. Never hurts to introduce yourself to the neighbors, and maybe one day they'll need my help and be willing to pay a little bit for it. Welcome into this very beautiful rainy morning here in December. We have everything loaded up on our trailer, ready to take to the farmer's market. We're running a little late today, but that's okay. And we're $467 in the hole. That's definitely not okay. So we're going to go ahead and run this to the farmer's market, get it sold off, and hopefully be able to purchase our field map so we can finish our spelt field, at least finish getting it fertilized anyway. Definitely not going to be putting down any lime this year. For most of our fields, it's too late, and it's just going to be too expensive this year for us to put lime down. So if we can get our maps purchased and get some fertilizer down on all of our fields, I definitely feel like that is a huge win for year one. And as we drive through, as we drive down the road here, you can see our fields are looking okay. Nothing too great. Not growing any, as it is December and it's, only 4 degrees Celsius, so it's barely above freezing at the moment. And now we can go ahead and get back into the farmer's market and get all of this sold off. Much better payday this month. 11,161 euros. All right, we're back here at the home place, and we do have enough to buy our field map, so we'll go ahead and get that purchased this month. And I don't think there's going to be a whole lot going on this winter. If anything comes up, I'll make sure to show you guys, but otherwise, I will see you sometime in the spring. Hey everyone, welcome into April. It was a pretty long winter, but all in all, it was relatively good. We got all of our field maps purchased, which was very, very expensive, but thankfully that, that purchase is done and we don't have to worry about it for a while. Got fertilizer on all of our fields. So they're all doing absolutely wonderful. And, we didn't get any lime down, but that's okay. We can do that this next year, hopefully. We've built up a decent amount of seed and fertilizer in our greenhouses. So this month, after I get done mowing our hay down, I think we're going to go ahead and purchase some goats. And I guess I'm not going to make hay. Goats don't need hay. They just need grass. So we're just going to make some grass bales here this month. Don't really need to worry about hay until we end up getting some cattle. So that makes it a little bit easier. It's one less step. Don't have to worry about tedding. Just got to get it mowed down, raked, and baled. So this will be our first time getting our baler out since we purchased this farm. So that's exciting. And here in another couple of months, we should be ready for harvest, which is strange. Definitely not used to harvesting in the middle of summer. So that's something that I'll have to get used to here. But we're going to knock down this little triangle patch here, and then we'll move into our actual grass field and get it knocked down. And I have no idea what to expect for bales. It's not a huge field by any means, but it's not at full yield either, so not really sure what to expect. All right, we got all of our grass raked up and windrowed here, so we're going to go ahead and get this baler fired up, get it dropped down, and see how many bales we actually end up with. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm hoping for good things, I suppose. All right, and we are done baling. That did not take very long at all. Go ahead and unload the last 2 bales out of the baler here. All right, so we ended up with 8 bales in total, which is absolutely fantastic, and there's no point in trying to get the trailer out. We don't have to go very far, but you can see we're definitely a little tippy here. These bales must be a little bit heavy. So we're going to go ahead and get all these picked up, see if I can do a little better job on the next one here. And then I'm going to grab the pickup, go pick up some lime, and we're going to go ahead and spread some lime out on this field and try and get our yield even higher. All right, we have our spreader all loaded up with lime, so we're going to go ahead and get this grass field limed and see, you know, I'll be curious to see what kind of yield boost we get out of this by spreading lime on a grass field. Well, this is definitely going to take a lot of lime. We didn't even make 2 full passes around the outside, and we're already empty, so this field was evidently in dire need of some lime, so that's something we're going to have to keep in mind. All of our fields are in pretty poor shape, especially when it comes to lime, so we're going to be going through a crazy amount trying to get our fields in better shape and ready to go here. All right, well, that took over 2 totes of lime to get this one little grass field done. That was a lot. I was not expecting it to take that much. So we're definitely going to have to keep that in mind here in the future when we start liming all of our other fields, because they are significantly bigger and definitely going to require a heck of a lot more lime. Well, we're going to go ahead, unload that, load up with our fertilizer here. Hopefully there's enough. Yeah, we've only got 384 liters, so hopefully that's enough. Not sure if it will be, but we'll at least get as much of this grass field fertilized as we possibly can here. Really, really hope this is enough to cover it. All right, and that is our first field that is fully fertilized and fully limed. Very exciting. So as we take a look here, our pH value and nitrogen value are absolutely fantastic, and I'm very, very excited to see what this grass field yields on the next cutting. So this is our first field that we've gotten fully limed and fully fertilized. It's very small, so it's, you know, definitely not a major step, but in a way, it kind of is. So that is going to be it for us here in the month of April. I'm going to go ahead and get this fertilizer spreader put away, and I will see you guys next month when we're ready to pick up some goats. Well, it is a very rainy morning here in the month of May, but that's okay. We're ready to sell off all of our vegetables here. We got them all loaded up, and as I'm standing here in the field, you can see we're looking at an 89% yield potential, which is a little lower than I honestly thought it would be. I genuinely thought we could do better than that. So there's obviously something I'm not doing right here, and I need to get that figured out to try and get our yield up a little bit higher on a grass field. Not the end of the world by any means, but just slightly disappointing. Now, don't get me wrong, that's definitely a good yield and more than we really need, but it's still just a little bit low. So we're going to head to the farmer's market, get our vegetables and eggs sold off. All right, and you can see here in our wheat field, we're looking at about an 83% yield. So honestly, not too bad. Our pH value is pretty low. Our nitrogen is perfect. So that's fantastic. And if we zip over here, you can see we're looking at about 83% as well here in our barley field. So that is absolutely fantastic. Now, these should be ready to harvest here next month or in July. So that's going to be very exciting, having our first harvest here in Italy. And it'll be one step closer to us being able to start growing grapes and begin our dream of making a winery. All right, we'll get backed in here. That gave us $5,585 with a 104 environmental score bonus. So a little low, but for some reason, and I honestly don't know why, our greenhouses didn't produce as much this month. That's odd. So yeah, I genuinely have no idea why. But not much I can do about it. So we're going to head back to the home place here. Hook up to our Dan Greenville trailer. And head down to the animal dealer and pick up some goats. All right, we have the Dan Greenville trailer hooked up here. So we're going to head out to the animal dealer. And hopefully find us some really good goats. I have no idea how many we can buy. Because I genuinely don't even know how much they're going to cost. All right, we're down here at the animal dealer, so let's find us some goats. All right, we picked up 5 goats and 1 ram. A couple of them are pretty young and not going to be able to reproduce for a while, but they had really good genetics and they were affordable. So there's a couple that were older that were really, really good genetics, but boy, they were way out of my price range. So we're going to head back to the home place here, get these guys delivered into their brand new home, or at least brand new to them anyway. And yeah, it'll be very exciting to have some goats. And I can't wait till we can get some goat milk and start bottling goat milk with our dairy that's there at the home place. All right, and you can see our goats out here in our pasture. Now, they have plenty of grass here in the pasture, so we don't need to give them a bale yet. That'll be mostly for getting them through the winter. They should be able to eat on this pasture for quite some time. But you can see we've got a couple little ones out here. So it'll be a little while before I really expect any babies to be born. But regardless, it's very exciting. At least we're moving forward. We're moving in the right direction. Look, they all look very happy. They're all very healthy, very good genetics, so that is wonderful. And that'll be, honestly, about it for the month of May here. We'll see how these guys are doing next month in June, and hopefully, A, the rain will, stop, and B, we can get into our first harvest. All right, it is a very exciting month. It is June, and our barley is ready to be harvested. Our wheat needs another month to grow yet, but our barley is ready, so we will be combining for the first time in this series. And I am super excited for it. It's been a long time coming, and we desperately need to get that barley out of the field and hope we get a really good price for it here later on down the road. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get all of our vegetables sold and our eggs. Our sheep are doing... or our goats, I should say. Our goats are doing absolutely fantastic. And one of them is pregnant and expecting babies, so that's wonderful. Now, the other 3 goats are too young, and our ram is doing fabulous himself. So everybody's doing very good. Our chickens are doing fantastic. They're starting to produce a few more eggs now, which is wonderful. And our greenhouse is back to a bit more normal here. Not really sure what happened last month. I don't know why we were short, but we were. As we drive through here, you can see our golden field of barley. Looks absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to get the combine out and start harvesting that field and see what we get. All right, we're backed into the farmer's market. And we made 10,501 euros with 197 euro environmental bonus. So that is absolutely fantastic. That environmental bonus is starting to rise as our fields are starting to get better and better scores here. So that is fantastic. Now we're going to run back to the home place here as quickly as we can, get that combine out, and start rolling in that barley field. All right, we are ready to start combining, so we'll get this combine fired up, get the header drop down. And I do have our straw swath activated. We're going to make as many straw bales as we can, A, to sell and make money, but B, evidently our goat barn will take straw and produce manure. So, having manure to put into our greenhouses and spread on our field is going to be a great thing. Now, 6 goats are not going to produce a whole lot of manure, and you know what? That's okay. whatever they produce is going to be beneficial to us. So I'm going to take it. And like I said, we're going to sell the straw anyway. So that's going to be a good money maker for us as well. And yeah, it's just super, super exciting to finally get into our first harvest here in Monteriggioni. Well, this is a good sign. We didn't even make it all the way around the field before the combine filled up. So that is absolutely fantastic. So we'll go ahead and get this combine unloaded and get back to it here. But so far, our yield has been pretty good. You can see up there in the corner, we're sitting at a 94% yield. And this is in the silty clay area of the field, which is the worst ground to be trying to grow crops on. So I'm very happy with that. Now our backside of this field has loam, and it was jumping all the way up to like 114% yield. So that's absolutely fantastic considering this field hasn't been limed. So I'm expecting, you know, even better things for next year for this field. As long as we can make enough money to get things put down like lime and make sure, you know, we continue with the proper fertilizer. I definitely missed a few weeds when I was spraying, so that's something I need to try and do a better job of. Let's make sure that we don't leave any weeds out here, because those definitely hurt our yield. But all in all, for our first harvest, I'm pretty happy with how things are going so far. Now, we've only just made it one pass around the field, so that could change very quickly. But so far, everything is absolutely fantastic. All right, and we did not quite make it another pass, so we're filling up pretty quickly here, and it's only going to take 2 combine loads to fill this truck, so we will be making a lot of trips back and forth to our silo, but that's very, very exciting. Our yield is doing way better than I honestly thought it would, so that is absolutely fantastic. We should make pretty good money this year just from our barley, considering how big this field is. So, yeah, things are going very, very well so far. All right, and we're going to get pulled in here, and this is our first load that first load ever getting dumped into our silo. This is absolutely exciting. Very, very happy with where we're at. Definitely wish we had some more money, but this is a great start to our farm, and we're definitely moving in the right direction to making money, so that we can start our grape operation and start making some wine. All right, we're back in the combine, so we'll keep on rolling here and see how long it takes for us to get truckload number 2. All right, and this is truckload number 2. We have not made it very far through the field. Take a look, we got rid of all of our short rows, so we're going to really start hammering them out now that we're doing nothing but long rows. But yeah, this is yielding really, really well. I'm very happy with how our field is turning out here for our first harvest. This is absolutely fantastic. So we'll go ahead and get this second truckload, hauled it down into our silo, and I'm probably going to sell some of this a little early. We're sitting at 9,714 euros. That's okay, but it's definitely not enough for all the money that we need to spend in lime and seed and fertilizer coming up here. So there's a good chance I will definitely be selling a little early. It's not great, but we need to get our next crop in the ground before the peak sell price hits, and that's just, you know, a part of doing business. All right, we are finally finishing up our last pass here in our barley field, and we are done combining. This has been a wonderful harvest. We got way more barley than I ever thought we would. We're going to get way more straw than I ever thought I would, especially for our first harvest here with, you know, only fertilizer, no lime whatsoever. So this is absolutely fantastic. We have a bunch of barley already in our silo. So we're going to go ahead and get this combine emptied empty out our truck into the silo. And then we need to get our tractor hooked up to our baler and start baling up all that straw. And it's going to be a lot. I can't wait to see how many straw bales we get. And something I didn't realize is our goat barn will produce manure. So that's absolutely fantastic. We're going to get that thing full as soon as possible with straw and start producing manure right away. Now, it won't be a lot. There's only 6 head, but it's going to be very helpful having manure being produced, even if it's not very much. All right, we got our bale counter reset. We are ready to start rocking and rolling, getting the straw picked up. And I can't wait to see, you know, how many bales we actually end up with here. I got a feeling it's going to be quite a few. So I will catch up to you guys when we get all of this straw picked up.
Wouldn't lie to you, doesn't matter what I do. She's got a hold on me. She knows how to drive a truck, but she lets me pick her up when we're going dancing. My heart stops beating when my headlights shining on her. She's my country girl. I couldn't tell you what she's doing with me. She's so damn out of my league. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country. Yeah, she's my country girl. She's a little bit country. Yeah, she's my country girl. She can let her hair down, but got her feet on the ground. I can't get enough of her. She can drive me so wild, just with that sweet smile, and there's nobody else for me. My heart starts racing every time I'm looking at her. She's my country girl. I couldn't tell you what she's doing to me. She's so damn out of my league. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country. Yeah, she's my country girl. She's a little bit country. Yeah, she's my country girl. Guitar. Yeah. All right. Wouldn't lie to you, doesn't matter what I do. She's got a hold on me. Ha. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like midnight's getting closer, and I just wanna hold her in my arms till the sun comes up. She's a little bit country. Yeah, she's my country girl. She's a little bit country. Yeah, she's my country girl.
All right, we're coming up to the end here, getting our straw bales getting all the straw baled up, and we ended up with 29 bales so far. And I'm going to go ahead, pull right in front of our bale storage before I empty this out. There's no reason to dump it on the field and then pick it up, and then when I'm driving right past our bale storage. So we'll empty this out right in front of the bale storage, and I'm very happy with that. That's a lot of straw bales that we're going to be able to sell here very soon. Now, unfortunately, straw bales are not a huge moneymaker by any means, but every little bit will help. I got a feeling this is going to be one of those farms where one thing is not what makes us money. It's going to be a culmination of everything that makes us money. We'll go ahead and get that one bale unloaded there. And we can go ahead and get this baler put away, get all of these bales picked up. And I think we can go ahead and start cultivating yet. Today, there's rain coming, so I don't know if we'll get all of this field cultivated before that rain hits, but we're sure going to give it a shot. All right, we got all of our bales picked up, and we are now ready to start rocking and rolling here, getting this field cultivated. Hopefully we get it done before that rain hits, and this is going to be it for the month of June. Once we're either A, done cultivating, or B, it starts raining. Hopefully we're done cultivating. That's my goal. It's supposed to be 3 o'clock. We should have plenty of time before the rain hits. So I'm not too worried about it, but just in case, definitely want to make sure we get this done. So I will catch up to you guys in July when we should be able to harvest our wheat and maybe even our spelt. So far, first field harvested went absolutely fantastic. I'm very, very happy with the yield. We ended up with, I want to say like 84,000 liters of barley, which is absolutely fantastic. That's going to make us quite a bit of money here in December. And yeah, we're still sitting at 9,700 euros. Most likely going to need to sell one of our crops a little bit early. Hopefully not all of it, but we need seed, fertilizer, and lime, and we need a lot of all of those. So we've got field work that needs to be done, and we also have our greenhouses that will need seed and fertilizer as well. So we got a lot of money that's going to be going out the door here very soon. All right, we are now in July, and we have one crazy busy month ahead of us. Our wheat and spelt are both ready to be harvested. We have a really, really good amount of vegetables and eggs that we're going to get sold. Our chickens are doing phenomenal. Our goats are doing well. We have one goat that is pregnant. She's sitting at 40%, so we're getting close to having some baby goats on the farm. And for once, we're not starting in the negative. We didn't need to buy as much seed and fertilizer for the greenhouses, which was really, really nice and really, really helpful. So we're starting from a positive this month, and we also have hay to make this month. I do want to get some cows here very soon, and we need hay in order to get them fed. So we've got a lot of work to do this month, so we're going to get straight into it here. Jump into the truck, we'll head down to the farmer's market, get this all sold off. Hopefully we get a really good price for it. And then we can come back and jump in the combine. And we have a lot of combining to do here. All right, we'll go ahead and get this sold off. Maybe. There we go. All right, so we're up to 13,937 euros. And our environmental score has really, really gone up here, which is absolutely fantastic. So our environmental bonus is very high. Now it's time to head back to the home place here and start combining. We have a very big spelt field to get combined and a decent sized wheat field. All right, we are ready to dive into our wheat field here. So we're going to fire it up, drop it down, and get to it. This field shouldn't take too terribly long. It is not an overly large field, but hopefully my yield is at least halfway decent. Right now we're sitting at 93% yield, which is pretty good. I'll definitely take that. I'm not going to complain one bit about that. All right, we're going to have our truck topped off here. We'll have a little bit more wheat after this, but we're going to go ahead and stop at the chicken coop, dump off some wheat. That way we can make sure they have full feed and we don't have to worry about feeding them for a while. And then we'll put the rest in the silo. We got a couple more passes here and the wheat field will be finished. And then we can move on to the big spelt field, which is our biggest field that we currently own. All right, we'll go ahead and get this chicken coop topped off here. Hopefully we don't run over any chickens while we're trying to maneuver around here. Unfortunately, even honking the horn doesn't get them to move. So they are topped off. Now we can put the rest of this into our silo and get back to combining here. All right, we have our wheat field all finished. Didn't take too long. And we're going to go ahead and get this truck emptied out and start right into our spelt. We got a lot of combining to do in that field, so we're going to get to it as soon as possible. And once we're done combining, we have a whole lot of baling that needs to be done. But first, I'm probably going to go ahead and do all of our mowing, tedding, and raking. That way I can just jump in the tractor, pull the baler, and get all the straw bales and the hay bales done all in one shot. All right, we are officially combining in our spelt field. I decided not to run a straw swath, and I'm kind of regretting it at this point. We've made it basically 1 3/4 passes around the field before the combine filled up. So this is yielding half of what our barley and wheat did. Now it's yielding at, like 90%, which is good, but the tons per hectare is at 5, whereas our barley was anywhere from 10 to 14 tons per hectare. So significantly less yield, and this, when I go to sell it, it's worth half. So we're getting half the yield for half the price. That's really, really bad. So probably going to be the last time we ever plant spelt. It's a nifty looking plant, a little bit different coloration than wheat and barley, but yeah, definitely not going to do this again. It's disappointing, but lesson learned. So we're going to get back to it here. And this field should combine pretty fast if we're yielding, right now we're 5.3 tons per hectare, and it's at 92% yield. So that's not very good at all, to be completely honest. So definitely disappointing, but that's okay. We tried something different, something that I've never planted before, and now we know we'll never plant it again. All right, we got our first truckload of spelt, and we combined a whole lot more than I thought we would. Oof. Yeah, this is definitely going to be rough, getting this out of the field and getting it sold. This is going to hurt my soul, to be completely honest. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we're going to find something else to plant for next year. Oof, my goodness, this is tough. And apparently 15,000 liters is a little heavy for this truck. It is definitely struggling up this hill. We're picking up speed, but not very quickly. So we're going to go ahead and hammer the rest of this field out and move on to mowing down some grass, turning it into hay. All right, we are officially done with our harvest. So we have 86,780 liters of barley, 42,992 liters of spelt, and 18,740 liters of wheat. So that spelt was in our biggest field, and it was half of our barley. That's not good at all. That is not going to be the payday I was hoping for, and that's very disappointing. But we're going to go ahead and get all of our harvest equipment put away and get our tractor and mower out so we can start mowing some grass and getting it turned into some hay. All right, we got all of our mowing done. We mowed quite a bit. We mowed in between all of our fields, trying to get as much grass as we can here. So we're going to go ahead and get all of this tedded up because we're going to turn all of it into hay. Our next cutting, I will try and make all of it into silage. I don't know if we'll go in between the fields because they will be planted. And I definitely don't want to risk, mowing down crop just to make some silage. So we'll go ahead and get all of this tedded. We've got quite a bit of tedding to do here, as you can see. Got all of our grass field, plus every bit of grass that I don't normally mow for, just keeping the property looking good. So we've got quite a bit of tedding to do, and hopefully we get a lot of hay bales, because I would love to be able to get some cattle here very shortly. But we need to make sure all of our fields are planted before we worry about getting cattle. All right, we have everything tedded. Didn't take very long at all, which is pretty much what I expected, but boy, does this tedder make a mess. So we'll go ahead, hook up to our rake, and get everything raked up. All right, we have all of our grass raked up and ready to be baled. And we're going to go ahead and start in the wheat field and getting that straw all baled up first. But that will have to wait until the next one. So if you guys like what you're seeing, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.